What do you think of that? I mean, my fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Just think about that. And don't we need that right now? The worry, the anxiety that's hovering everywhere. I mean, you can't get away from it. So think about that when we stand in that power of God, the divine, the love, imagine that. Imagine that. That's a good talk title.
Oh.
Read your program. What kind of world could we build together if we truly believed anything was possible? Last week, Reverend Pixie told us of the tale, the Aesop fable, of the north wind and the sun. You remember that? And the moral of the story was that gentleness and kindness can achieve what force and aggression cannot. And John led us into the Beatles song. Imagine there's no heaven, blah, 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 whatever that song was.
Nailed it.
And the week before, I told the metaphysical interpretation of The Wizard of Oz. And it takes courage to see beyond appearances. And aren't we putting on our courage armor now in this world? Imagine that. The dictionary definition of imagine is to form a mental image or concept or suppose or assume something. In science of mind, we call it mental equivalent. So what's your mental equivalent these days? Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. An imagination, hear this, is not an escape from the world. It's the quiet force that helps the world become more than it seems. Ernest also said, when we use our creative imagination in strong faith, it will create for us, out of the one substance, whatever we have formed in thought. And in this way, we become a co-creator with God. So creating a world that works for everyone, which is our Centers for Spiritual Living global theme, is a big, hairy, audacious goal, isn't it? A world that works for everyone. And it's also the pinnacle goal of humanity. Wow. Imagine a world where all of our needs are met before we even knew we had the need. And a world in which we lived together in unity and grace and love and peace. Imagine a world where everyone was seen and valued as a perfect expression of the divine. Wow. What if, as Ernest Holmes wrote, we use our creative imagination, again, in strong faith, to become a co-creator with God? And in that faith and creation, we make space for everyone to be seen, heard, and feel like they belong. We need our imagination to consider this idea, let alone accomplish it. We need our imagination to have the wisdom and the courage and the strength to stand as our best selves and allow others to do the same. We need our imagination to see beyond the walls of politics and divisiveness. We need our imagination to see the love and the peace and the possibility the universe has to offer us. Say with me, I have the courage to imagine.
I have the courage to imagine.
Breathe that in. Because if we don't, who is? Dr. Marc Lamont Hill said, we have to be able to build a world that doesn't even exist yet. That's a different imagination. Wow. So what if we all tapped into a different, loving, unifying, transformational, new imagination? And again, we don't use our imagination to escape, but to liberate. And Dr. Hill's challenge to build a world that doesn't even exist yet isn't a fantasy. It's a spiritual imperative. Don't you think? Imagination becomes a holy act when we dare to envision safety, justice, and belonging for everyone, absolutely everyone. The question is, what are we creating in our imagination? I don't know about you, but my imagination often goes to fear. It can. And I'm happy to catch it. And instead, I use my imagination to birth something new, birth liberation, birth a healing, birth a holy possibility. Holy Batman. Isn't that what they said? Holy Batman? Nobody seems to know.
Yes, Robin.
Holy Robin?
No, Robin said Holy Batman.
Thank you.
When you say a holy lot.
A holy possibility. I don't know why that came out. So affirm with me, I open my mind to the holy possibility of peace on earth. I open my mind to the holy possibility of peace on earth. Plant that seed right now. Despite appearances. A few weeks ago, as I said, I shared that Wizard of Us book from Jean Houston, who is an amazing visionary. And she shares this story from her childhood. She says, back when I was 8 years old, I was attending a school in Manhattan, New York, where they felt it was a good idea for students to meet some of the great elders of the time. One of those elders was Albert Einstein. And one day we trotted across the river to Princeton University, to his house there. He had a lot of hair. And he was very sweet. One of my smart alecky classmates said to him, Mr. Einstein, how can we get as smart as you? And he said, read fairy tales. Which made no sense to us at all. So another smart alecky kid said, well, Mr. Einstein, how can we get to be smarter than you? Read more fairy tales, he said. Dr. Houston said, we of course didn't fully understand him at the time. We were 8 years old. But he was actually encouraging us, what he was actually encouraging us to do was to nurture and grow our imaginations. He understood something that almost all highly and creative, successful people do, that the imaginal realm is where most potent ideas, the ones that can change your life or the world, are held. It's the quantum field. And the more you can nurture your imagination by diving into that imaginal realm, the more often that dive will inspire a stream of creativity when you resurface. She said, in this way, just as Einstein did, we can tap into a deep well of greater possibilities for the co-creation with the universe. And this state of co-creativity is where we can begin to tap into our creative superpower. Ernest Holmes said, true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming, it's fire from heaven. You know, I've said this before, one of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes is, I cleanse the window of my mind that it may become a mirror reflecting inspiration from the Most High. So when my mind gets all muddled up about everything, I remember that I can connect to that mind that's wiser than me. Scientists discovered it takes approximately 400 repetitions to create a new synapse in the brain, unless it's done in a playful way. Then it only takes 10 to 20 repetitions to create a new synapse. 10 to 20 as opposed to 400 repetitions? So if you want to learn something new, sing about it. Make a game about it. Doodle it. Color it. Dance it. Have fun. What if you started your day with a song of gratitude? What if you connected with your inner spirit of joy and love? Imagine that. How would that feel? Because in between those moments of the seriousness of life, that you come back and you listen to some music, you move your body, you connect to that inner spirit, you meditate with joy, you go out and enjoy Mother Nature. The spring is sprung. The flowers, the trees, the plants. Go look at those beautiful things. Imagine that. Michael Bernard Beckwith said, "In this moment, we are reclaiming our imagination. You may not know how to do something, but as you have a feeling tone in the imaginal realm about possibility, you will be guided to be that vibrationally and then to do it in action, which is what is necessary to manifest that which you are catching in your imagination." You know, in many shamanic traditions, if you came to a medicine person complaining of being depressed or dispirited or disheartened, they ask you one of 4 questions. When did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? When did you stop being comforted by sweet silence? Take a breath with that. And I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment. And just connect in this moment to your gentle being, your uniqueness, your divine power. And ask yourself if you feel at all disconnected from whatever. And are you willing to be enchanted again? Are you willing to sing? Are you willing to laugh? Are you willing to smile? And let your spirit heal you. We have to feel it to heal it. And we do these things to liberate ourselves so that we can each be a beneficial presence on this planet. So take a breath and come back. Just raise your arms and shake them out like this. Just move your body a little bit. Good. So Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution. So let's go back to thinking about imagining a world that is at peace, despite what it looks like. Despite what it looks like. So take a breath again, and let's take a moment to do a little process here from the Heart Math Institute. And know and trust that anytime we have an intention, it's powerful. So don't argue with this process. Just allow yourself to follow the prompts and do what feels right for you. And so as we close our eyes from the thinking, busy mind, I invite you to just drop into your heart space, the center of your chest. And do a moment or two of heart-focused breathing. Just imagine your breath, your heart like a lung, as it expands on the in-breath and relaxes on the ex-breath. And you know how to do this. It's intuitive, actually. And I invite you to activate a renewing feeling like appreciation or caring. And just amplify that resonance for a moment through your heart. Appreciation or caring. So it warms the heart and increases your heart coherence. And we breathe. And this also helps to bring more light and healing into your own system. Good. Now radiate, and use your imagination, radiate genuine love and care from your heart into the mental and emotional density that is accumulated around the planet. And see it dissipate just the way the sun dissipates the clouds. Radiating love and care from your heart into the emotional density. And breathe. And now direct love and care to any current global stressors or any area of the planet or situation where more light is needed to help dissipate the density and to facilitate a positive outcome. With your intention and attention, breathe and direct love and care. And visualize this whole planet and all of humanity as you would want it to be. Just visualize that. Everyone experiencing peace, harmony, and heart-based connections. Just imagine that. Imagine you're feeding the field, the quantum field, with this love, care from you, your heart, to the hearts of the world. Yes. And then take a big breath and just bring that all back into your own heart and bless yourself. Bless you. Thank you, body. Thank you, mind. Thank you, my spirit. Thank you. And take a deeper breath and come on back. Bring your arms up. Shake it off. Take a breath. Come back. Thank you for participating in that, because it's important. It's very important. So what if we practice seeing and imagining ourselves as healthy, as successful, as wise, as prosperous, as peaceful, whatever it is, and in a playful way? Just imagine that. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you with? How does it feel? And then, not only for yourself, but then again, imagining the world as peaceful and loving and unified. Raymond Charles Barker, one of my favorite metaphysicians from a way back, said, "Your imagination is a force for great creating good. It is the pearl of great price among all the other functions of the mind. It gives form and outline to ideas. Imagination takes the concept or idea out of the realm of the nebulous, not wishful thinking, and it brings it into actual visualization." So this week, give your imagination a sacred assignment. Are you willing? Yes. Choose one area of the world that feels heavy, broken, or stuck. Now that's not hard to find. Or a personal challenge. I know some of you have a personal challenge as well. But just take one and ask yourself some what-if questions. What if healing here were possible? What would that look like? What would that feel like? Where have I been using my imagination to dwell in fear, scarcity, and division? What if I imagined that I came from love, wholeness, and divine possibility instead? Imagine that. And then you might be inspired to take one small action step that's rooted in that vision and intention. Maybe you'll initiate a conversation with someone. Maybe you'll write a letter to the president. Maybe you'll support a local organization or simply practice seeing the divine in somebody you've judged. Remember, each of you, your imagination is not separate from your spirituality. It's part of your divine toolkit. Your imagination is not separate from your spirituality. So as you move through your day, pause and ask yourself, am I creating from fear or from faith? You know, the science of mind is such a great teaching. And it teaches us to identify the issues we'd like to change. Not in denying the reality of the condition, the situation, but in denying its power over you. It's an effect, not a cause. Is that clear? So we're not denying that stuff's happening out there, but we're denying that it has power over my well-being. That's big. So think about, what if every obstacle or challenge is an invitation to become more of my divine self and to come more into relationship with the divine mind? That this thing, this issue, whatever it is, me personally or the world, is an opportunity, an invitation for me to come back to my divine self. Just imagine that. So I'm not pushing things away, but I'm exploring what if. So I do turn my attention toward that which I want to experience. And I want to claim that higher good for myself and everyone. So this week, you're invited to plant a seed of vision and then water it with love and imagination. So what are you willing to imagine in strong faith? As Ernest said, when we use our creative imagination in strong faith, it will create for us. It's the law. So how might your bold inner vision ripple out into the collective change? We have to invite spirit to co-create with us. You know, each of you has an amazing partner in the divine. So let your imagination become a sacred act of courage and an offering to a world that is still becoming. Your imaginations matter. Are you with me?
Yes.
Are you willing to imagine something?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you really in?
Yes.
Say, I'm really in.
I'm really in. I'm really, really in.
And so it is. That's what I got.